Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Adriaan and today we are going to continue with the last video where we added a turbocharger to this 4-cylinder engine, and we are going to look at how we can go and utilize the wastegate on the turbo to bring down the boost pressure on the compressor side. Now here's a picture of the compressor map. And you can see the blue lines with the little circles is our boost pressure for different RPMs that we calculated in the previous video. You can see as we increase in engine speed, our boost pressure increases as well with a peak value of 2.38 bar, and then it slowly decreases as we increase the engine speed further. With this setup, to reduce the boost pressure, we need to go and reduce the engine load, which is not always feasible. Now, what we can do to limit this boost pressure to say 1.5 bar, which is here at the bottom, we can go and utilize the wastegate to bypass some of the exhaust gases so that they don't contribute to the turbine, increasing the boost of the compressor. Now, to show you how I set up a wastegate, I am not going to use this model. I'm going to use another model which Ricardo WAVE creates in parallel with this model when you press the solve button. Now, if you have a look in the folder where your model is, after you've pressed the run button, Ricardo will create an additional engine model file with the extension WVM. Now, this is the older sort of user interface of Ricardo WAVE, and this is the model that I'm going to use to show you how to go about setting up a wastegate on the turbine. So first thing we do is we double click on the turbine and it will show our little panel, which is the equivalent to the properties panel on the newer user interface. And we're going to say wastegate on. Once that happens, we can then specify the wastegate open area, and you can either go and choose which units you're going to use, and I'm going to use millimeters squared. For now, I'm not going to specify a specific value. I'm going to create a variable, which is 2 curly brackets, and I'm just going to say WG, which stands for wastegate. Once I press apply, it will ask me to add the variable to my constant list. I'm going to say, yes, I want to do that. And I am going to add it as 0 for now. Now, if I go to my constants list, you will see that it has been added and the value of 0 is applied to it, meaning that the wastegate is completely closed, effectively making it the turbine as if there is no wastegate. Now, what I want to do is I want to determine these values of the wastegate that it needs to be in order for me to get a boost of 1.5, meaning that what does the area need to be to get enough gas to bypass the turbine so that it doesn't boost higher than 1.5 bar. Now, to do that, I'm going to create a sub sweep, which essentially means that for each case that I'm going to run, it is going to run multiple runs of that case with different values of the wastegate. To do that, we go to the tab here at the top, sweep constants, and I'm going to create one saying wastegate. If I select that and I press edit subcases, you will see a little window appears with the number of subcases you need to specify. I'm going to go with 4, press enter, and the little table updates with 4 values that I need to input. I'm going to start off at 0 as well as go to 150. You will see the graph updates accordingly. You can also go and press interpolate and it will automatically populate the rest of the empty rows. So for each case, it will run 4 subcases, each with the value of the wastegate as being 0, 50, 100, and 150 millimeters squared area. And now we can run the model and you will find the little running man there at the top. Once the run is complete, we can head on over to Wave Post and we can now go and create a 3D graph of the subsweep data that we have calculated. To do that, we go to add sweep plot, 3D plot. It'll bring up a window where we again say add. We're going to add some wave data, and then it gives you 3 options each for the 3 axes of the 3D graph. On the Z axis, we are going to go with junction 505 and we're going to go with the pressure. So junction 505 P stands for pressure. On the X axis, we are going to go with RPM. And on the Y axis, we are going to go with our variable wastegate that we've created. All right, so I'm only interested in the engine speed or the engine RPM from 3,500 to 5,000, and it creates this nice colored graph for you. And here on the right, you can see the pressure or the boost pressure in bar. It's difficult to see exactly what green color a 1.5 boost pressure is. So we can change this graph by going to edit, plot specifics, and we can uncheck color filled. Once we press OK, all the color will disappear and you will get this line graph with all the numbers for the specific boost pressures. We can now see that for a boost pressure of 1.5 bar, it is line number 13. So if we go and we trace line number 13 to 3,500 RPM, we can see we need a wastegate area of 65 millimeters squared. For 4,000 RPM, it is 85 millimeters squared. For 4,500, it is 74 millimeters squared. And for 5,000 RPM, it is 67 or 68 millimeters squared. So now we can note that values down and we can go and update the variable in our model. Right, so we've updated our wastegate variable and you can see we've inputted the 4 values here that we got from our 3D graph. So that's been updated. So now we know for case number 6, 7, 8, and 9, our boost pressure will not exceed 1.5 bar. We can save and run the model to have a look at some comparison graphs. And here is the graph that I showed you at the start with our boost pressure without the wastegate. And we've gone for case 9, 8, 7, and 6. We have decreased the boost pressure to approximately 1.5 bar, where it was very high in the previous rate. So that's effectively how you use a wastegate to limit your boost pressure to make sure that it is within a range that you want it to be. This method is really great when you know exactly what your target boost pressure is, and you know that's not going to change in the future. So you can do this exercise, you can get the area needed for the wastegate to keep it at the required boost pressure. The problem is, as soon as this target boost pressure changes, you need to rerun this whole exercise, and it is quite time consuming and it takes a lot of computational time to run this subsweep of the wastegate area. So what is a better, quicker way to do this, and it is future proof? Well, we can use a PID controller in Ricardo WAVE. So if we go back to our newer interface model and we go to our elements library and we scroll a bit down to our signal processing, we will get the PID block. When we click on it and then the properties, you can see there is space to put in your proportional value, integral value, your derivative value, and as well as some output values and controls that you can specify. This is only useful if you know exactly what your proportional, integral, and derivative values needs to be. If you don't know and you want to calibrate the PID controller, you cannot use the newer interface Ricardo WAVE. We need to go back to the older interface, which has a PID control tuner, which is really useful. All right, so this is our older interface Ricardo WAVE model that we have implemented our subsweep scenario. Now I'm going to add a PID controller. We go to the Elements tab on the left and we're going to expand our signal processing options, and we can see there is a PID controller which you're going to drag onto the canvas. Next, we need to get a sensor which will read the boost pressure, and we need to put an actuator in which can change the wastegate area. These two can be found under the sensors and actuators list. So we drag an actuator for the turbine wastegate area and a sensor which will take the plenum pressure. We drag a connection to our plenum, similarly to the actuator to our turbine. If we double click on our sensor, we're going to rename it as plenum P, and it is going to read our pressure. And you can see it gives units of Pascal. We want it to be in bar. We're going to take the mean bandwidth and we're going to say OK. Similarly with the actuator, we double click on it. We're just going to say this is the actuator for the wastegate. It is in millimeters squared. You can see it's already set to wastegate open area, which is what we want. So we're going to press OK. And then we're going to connect the red dot with the blue dot on the PID controller, the red dot of the PID controller to the blue dot of the actuator. So essentially what happens now, our sensor will input the boost pressure of the intake plenum to the PID controller. PID controller will then calculate appropriate, or will calculate the correct wastegate open area that will give us a target boost pressure that we want. So if we double click on the PID controller, we can see again some options, and here is our calibrate gains little button which we are interested in. So our initial value we're going to set as our variable that we've previously specified. That is our initial values, which is going to start off with. Minimum is 0, meaning the wastegate is completely closed. Maximum is 150 millimeters squared. Our target, we're going to create a new variable which is target boost, and this is which is really nice. So with our sub sweep case, we set a target boost of 1.5 bars, but if that changes in the future, the only thing you need to do is change this target value in your constant table, and the PID controller will change the wastegate area accordingly to get your target boost. If we say okay, it will just ask us again to create this variable. So I am going to set up target boost of 1.8 just to make it a bit interesting. All right, now we're going to go and we are going to click calibrate gains, and you will see if this is the first time that you click it, Ricardo WAVE wants to create 3 variables each for the proportional, integral and derivative values for each case. We can say okay, and it will automatically add it to our constant table. And now you've got the options to either go all cases or just a selected case, and then you need to specify it. You are welcome to go through all the cases. I'm just going to go with one case to show you how it's done. And I'm going to select the last case, which is case number 9. Now the first thing that the PID controller needs to do is to go and run a subsweep essentially with your model from a certain value to a certain value, and it's going to run it a number of times depending what you set it to be. Now for our case, we said from 0 to 150, and according to the Ricardo WAVE documents, 3 to 4 tests are fine, so we are just going to set it to 3. We're going to press the run input sweep, and essentially what it now will do, it will run case 9 with a wastegate value of 0, a wastegate value about 75, and a wastegate value of 150. You will get a nice little graph, and it will show you that our boost pressure is a linear function of the wastegate area. And we can go here at the bottom, you can see it's pre-populated our initial value and the step value. You can change it by dragging it along if you want to. I'm just going to keep it as is, and I'm going to say run step response. Once that is done, it gives you another graph to show you the speed of the PID controller, and it nicely converges at about 0.2 seconds. You get the option to change your tuning method to Ricardo no lag or the Ziegler-Nicholas method. I'm going to keep it to Ricardo no lag, and then for my proportional and integral values, these are updated, and you can see no derivative value has been calculated. So once you press OK, your values in your constant table will be updated for these values. I'm just going to press OK, going to press OK again. Now we can have a test run on case 9 with a new target back pressure of 1.8 bar. And here is our compression map again, and you can see this X denotes our boost pressure, and that was given at 1.69, which is fairly close to the target boost I set it. And that is how you use a PID controller to dynamically determine the wastegate area for a given target boost that you set in your variables. If you have any questions, please do put them in the comment sections below. I'm also available on Twitter and LinkedIn. If you want to connect with me and ask your questions there, you're more than welcome to do so. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.